Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment. Today is Sunday, April 23rd, and the Yankees and the Blue Jays just wrapped up their 3-game weekend set. The Yankees were trying to remain unbeaten in series, and they were looking for Clarke Schmidt to turn it around. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Well, today was the tomorrow that we worried about yesterday. Obviously, no need for the fun hat today. The series unbeaten streak has been snapped, and the homestand is over. Yankees scored 3 runs or less in 8 of the 10 games, and that is not what you want. And that plane flight to Minnesota is going to be a quiet one, or it should be. This was a ugly loss and a boring game, sans the miniature attempt at a rally that the Yankees had in the 9th inning. Look, Clarke Schmidt was on the mound today, and he made a valiant effort for 5 innings. But Kevin Gausman just absolutely dominated the Yankees today. The Yankees were at a clear disadvantage, and it showed. I mean, Gausman, he had his A stuff. I mean, that's why he got the big contract, and we saw the filthiest split-fingered fastball in Major League Baseball today. If you had any glimmer of hope today, it was that Clarke Schmidt actually pitches pretty well against righties. And so, you know, you thought with the right-handed heavy lineup of the Blue Jays, maybe he would abandon the cutter, and he did. And early on, it worked. But look, in baseball, there's this old aphorism that every team's going to win 50 games, every team is going to lose 50 games, and it's what you do with the other 62 games that counts. This is one of the games that the Yankees were probably always going to lose. I mean, they were at a clear disadvantage in the pitching matchup. Offense has not been swinging the bat well, and Gausman just had his best stuff. And when a pitcher like that has their best stuff, you're just not going to do much with them. But things actually got off to a pretty decent start for Clarke Schmidt today. Struck out the first 2 hitters of the game, worked a 1-2-3 inning, and he didn't throw the cutter at all, which seemed to take the Blue Jays by surprise. Didn't surprise me that much. But you're thinking, all right, let's see how this works. He's going back to his old stuff that was effective against righties, and he's just going to pound the zone with the fastball and the sinker and throw the breaking ball, and it worked for a while. After the first inning, you were thinking, all right, let's see if he goes back to the cutter and comes down to earth in the second, but he didn't. He stayed with it. Threw a perfect second, perfect third. By the 3rd inning, it was evident that he wasn't really using the cutter at all. And you know, it's a pitch that he worked on this spring, and he's said a lot of things in the media about how much the team likes it, but it's still a new pitch. And, you know, I think what we saw today was a glimpse or a peek into the mental side of the game, because without having to spend the mental energy on working on a new pitch's effectiveness, he was confidently executing with his familiar repertoire. The sinker, the curveball, muscle memory. And he was just pitching much more confidently. First base runner for either side didn't come till the bottom of the 3rd. 2 outs, IKF smoked an opposite field single, and he immediately stole second base, but Volpe struck out on one of the nastiest splitters that Gausman threw all day. And look, Volpe was completely overmatched by hang on a second. Volpe was completely overmatched by Gausman. I'm seeing an issue with my stream here, so hang on just a second. Okay, we're good. So, 6th inning, that's when the wheels kind of fell off. Let's start with the error by Anthony Volpe. I saw a lot of people on Twitter giving him crap for that. Look, errors are going to happen. And that was his first error of the season in, I think that's 20, 21 games, something like that. I know he sat one game and came in late for defense, but I'm not really counting that. But, you know, 1 error in 20 games or so, it's about 8 errors per season, which you'll take as a shortstop. You'll sign up for that. But Clarke Schmidt started going back to the cutter. served up a 2-run shot to Guerrero, gave up a back-to-back shot to Varsho. Varsho was pretty impressive in this series. I think he's going to give the Yankees some problems over the next few years. Got a great swing, a lot of power, strong kid. And just like that, it was 3-0 Jays. The game was over. We didn't know it yet, but we probably felt it, most of us. Final line for Schmidt, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them unearned because of the error. 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. That tied his career high. As I said, valiant effort. I applaud him for getting rid of the cutter against the righties, but ultimately the offense didn't give him any support. Jays got runs in the 7th and the 9th, and then Anthony Rizzo homered to avoid the shutout with 2 outs in the 9th. 1,500th hit for him in his career, so let's give him a little bit of a round of applause. A little light applause for a loss. But the Blue Jays hung on to win the game, and they take the series.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Don't fail me again.
So, as Raleigh says, we don't look ideal at this moment. I mean, it could be worse, but the offense just looks dead in the water. It's the same kind of stuff that we've seen from this team for a while. I mean, everybody's trying to go deep. We had some bad luck. Cabrera hit some balls hard today. He smoked one in the left field gap that got caught. Volpe ripped one at the third baseman that got caught. I mean, you can't hit anything near Chapman because he catches everything down there. But, really it was just, we were completely neutralized by Gausman. And the other night I caught some crap for saying that Kikuchi's a stiff. I think he is a stiff. Yeah, he's off to a good start this year, but I still don't think he's a great pitcher. Gausman is a great pitcher, and he shoved today. So, it is what it is. Dr. Hitskin says this game went down quick. South quick. Yeah, first of all, it was a very quick game in general. It started at 1:30. It's about 4:15 right now. So about 2 hours roughly. But, the wheels kind of fell off in the 6th inning. And it was not fun to watch. This was not an exciting game to watch. 9th inning had a little bit of entertainment. Lori C says, this team is deeply flawed. What a disgrace. We got some problems. Doesn't help that, as someone said on Twitter, we went dollar store shopping after Aaron Judge. Although we did pick up Rodon, but he hasn't pitched yet. This team needs Bader back. And I posted before that I think that Cabrera has done enough to play left field. He's done a good job out there. But Franchi Cordero, he kind of had his moment, but the league is adjusting to him a little bit. They're kind of finding those holes in his swing. And Willie Calhoun hasn't shown me anything. Aaron Hicks just isn't even playing anymore. They're just not even giving him a shot to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if his Yankees career ends in the very near future. The way I would do it, I would just send Calhoun back down, Franchi back down. And I'm not sure if you have to expose them to waivers or not, but if you do, so what? Pass them through waivers. If somebody takes them, fine, whatever. No big loss. Send them down and get some more youth on this team. I'd rather see Elijah Dunham come up, left-handed bat, a little bit of energy, contact guy. Chaparro, he's only hitting about 220 in the minor leagues, but he's got real power. We saw it in spring training, and he's hit about, I think, 7 home runs so far, and he's got, he hits them a long way. He hit really well last year. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle for a couple of weeks. While Stanton's out, you're going to have to reconfigure the roster, and Bader won't be back for another several days either. So, Daniel says, didn't even watch this pathetic team today, just been focusing on the Knicks and Rangers. I think the Knicks won. I don't know much about hockey. I haven't been following hockey. Jeffrey says, Judge is in the first major slump of his career. That's actually not true.
Wrong.
He's had a lot of really long slumps. He's had some slumps that have lasted months. Back in, 2018 maybe? No, 2017. After the All-Star break, after the home run derby. He went on a long drought of hitting home runs. He's had a couple of slumps. And he's not in a horrendous slump. I mean, he's hitting 244 now, but he's still got an 844 OPS. Doesn't have much protection in the lineup right now. Rizzo's hitting a little bit, but Stanton's out. I mean, I guess he got a little protection, but he's slumping. It happens. Don't be worried about Judge. Cassandra's worried. Don't be worried. It'll be fine. I still think that there might be a problem with that hand. If you go back and watch a couple of games ago, there were foul balls down the right field line, and you can see after he ran into the right field wall, he started flexing his hand. And then there was a pitch, I want to say maybe later in the game, where he let go of the bat with his right hand. And I thought maybe that hand is hurting a little bit. You know, wouldn't surprise me. He's obviously not in bad enough shape that he can't play, but we've got a lot of games in a row, so we're going to need him to start hitting. You know, either go on the IL or keep hitting. I think he's probably fine, but he's probably a little banged up. Jeffrey says this is a AAA lineup.
Absolutely. Hey.
Lori wants to send Franchi back to the Ranchy.
Oh, there goes gravity.
See you later, Franchi. Frankie says the slump between 60 and 62. Yeah, that was, I mean, yeah, it was a homerless drought, but he was walking a lot. He wasn't getting much to pitch, or to hit, rather. I got distracted because I was looking at this awesome profile picture from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from Dumpster Dog, says he remembers that drought. He ain't worried. That's an awesome... I love the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out game. I still play it. I've got a retro Nintendo hooked up. And I still remember the password to get to Mike Tyson. It's 007-373-5963. What's up? Larry wants to ditch Hicks and trade Torres while he has a little bit of value. You know, Torres got off to that great start, but over the last couple of weeks, I think we're seeing the same Torres that we've seen the last couple of years. Occasionally, he'll have the big hit. 1 for 4 today, hitting 254, 780 OPS. Still swinging from the heels way too much. He stopped using right field all of a sudden. I would definitely consider moving him. I like what we're seeing so far out of Peraza. I think he's done a nice job at third base. He was 0 for 3 today, but he had a big hit yesterday. He did a really nice job when he was at second base. That up-the-middle combination of Peraza and Volpe is very nice. I still kind of stand by that I would rather see it reversed, though. I think Volpe at second and Peraza at short would be even better. But that would mean you would have to get rid of Torres. There's a possibility that could happen at some point in the future, but we'll see. Daniel's upset about the Volpe error, but that happens. You know, errors happen. You just got to kind of... First of all, the pitcher's got to adjust and pick his teammates up, which he didn't. And second, just got to shake it off. It is what it is. Yuli won with one of the worst takes in history. Says the Yankees should have never paid Judge, should have traded him in the middle of the insane run with history.
Wrong.
Oh my gosh. Does that suck?
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
That's just the dumbest comment I've ever seen. The guy's your best player on the team. He's one of the best players in the league. Not only would it be a stupid business decision to let him walk, but it put you immediately into a rebuild mode. Yeah, could they have gotten something for him if they traded for him? Or they traded him? Sure. But the Yankees were on a record pace for most of last season, and they were looking like they could win the World Series. And you want them to trade their best player?
What a load of bullshit.
Done with that take. Raleigh also agrees with Peraza at shortstop and Volpe at second. We looked at Volpe's StatCast stuff yesterday, and we noticed that, you know, his arm strength, despite having the larger sample size, is one of those things where it's just not that great. It's 30th percentile or so. That doesn't really matter at second base. Matters at short, but at second base doesn't matter. Anyway. Jay Luck says, can't barrel any balls, can't string any hits. What's going on? Welcome to Yankees baseball. Hirsch says, what's good? How you doing, Hirsch? Hirsch, a regular in here. Look, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. That was a tough loss, but that was a game we were always going to lose. Just a horrendous pitching matchup. Gausman on his A game versus Clark Schmidt, who even on his A game still gave up 2 home runs. Let's take a look at the box score. Volpe 0 for 4, Judge 0 for 4, Rizzo 1 for 4 with the home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. He's still hitting .316, got the .977 OPS that leads the Yankees. Torres 1 for 4. See the OPS continuing to drop for him. LeMahieu had a nice day, 3 for 4. He doubled. Great backup by Varsho. I told you he's going to be a problem. He's a solid baseball IQ. Backing up on that line drive to center field, probably saved a triple, maybe even an attempt at an inside the park home run. And LeMahieu was hustling too. He's not the fastest guy, but it is what it is. Cabrera 0 for 4, but I don't think that tells a story. He hit the ball hard a couple of times today. There was a great piece of pitching by Gausman against Cabrera. So he got Cabrera to swing through back-to-back splitters to open the at-bat. So it was 0-2. He threw another one, and Cabrera just kind of watched it and eyeballed it, right? So then he threw one high. Gausman threw one high out of the zone. Cabrera took it. And you know, in Cabrera's mind, he's thinking, all right, he's showing me that high fastball to raise my eye level, and then he's going to go back low with that splitter. And then he surprised him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. And Cabrera tried to take a late swing to foul it off, but couldn't do it. Oh. So Schmidt, no earned runs. That drops his ERA to 6.30. Mike King gave up a run, 2.03 ERA on the season, and Ian Hamilton threw 2 innings, threw a lot of pitches. He threw, how many pitches did he throw? 46 pitches, 2 innings for a relief pitcher. That's a lot of pitches. 2.13 ERA on the season. Wouldn't shock me if the Yankees make some kind of a minor move before we go to the road trip just to get a fresh arm in the bullpen. I guess we'll see. Jack says we got to take care of the Blue Jays this year. Didn't do a great job today. We do have the Rays coming up after the road trip. Also, the Twins. I mean, they can play the Yankees tough. We've had some tough battles with them over the last several years, so that's going to be no joke. Got Cortez going in that series, got Herman going in that series, Brito's going in that series, and then I believe Garrett Cole opens up the series in Texas. And I don't know if we're going to face DeGrom. Last I saw, DeGrom had some arm issues. Real surprise. So, it is what it is. Yuli's still making his case for trading Judge. It's just a bad... I mean, we all know that players get worse with age. We know that. But Judge is not the reason we lost today. And to even blame it on Judge is just asinine. Look, he's the captain of this team. He provides a lot more than you realize. I mean, what about that series against the Angels? Think we win any of those games without Judge? I mean, robs a home run, hits a home run the next inning. I mean, the guy's a legend, and you want to get rid of him? I'm not going to block him. I mean, I'm not a fascist here. I'm not going to block him for sharing an opinion, but I will ridicule his terrible opinion. It is what it is.
Game over, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
We're gonna get out of here.
That's the remix. Chicka. Every time I say something stupid, I think Frankie's going to put it in the out of context reel. Which, by the way, you can read, or you can't read it because it's video. You can watch it on my Twitter, at NYY Recaps Derek. Also posted on Instagram. This is a sad day, losing the first series of the year, but, it is what it is, and you just move forward and hope that, you can get back on track against Minnesota. I can think of nobody that I think the Yankees feel more confident playing than Minnesota. They've beaten them like a drum over the last several years, so it is what it is. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody. If you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member.
Join us.
It's $5, and members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.